I sat down to record our normal tier list teaser video at rank 87, knowing I still had a decent bit of climbing to do before we finished up the season. But I wanted to feature a tier 1 deck this week, indisputably so, to show you just how powerful the best decks in Marvel Snap are right now. So I picked up this Thanos Doom list we featured in Infinite Decks of the Week yesterday, and I started playing my games, and I didn't stop winning. What you'll see on screen now is a screenshot of my OBS settings showing you us reaching the infinite rank, and if you pay attention to how long I was recording for, it took us just over 90 minutes. This deck was responsible for over 130 cubes in 90 minutes. For me, it is undisputably the best deck in Marvel Snap right now. There is nothing the deck cannot do, and it is the epitome of flexible. Of course, that is my opinion. You are more than welcome to disagree if you have alternative experiences. But if you can play this one right now, oh boy, do I recommend that you should. Let's break this down in the card by card. We'll start with Sunspot. Sunspot is possibly in the running for the best card in Marvel Snap right now. It's just in everything. It's the most played card universally across all of Marvel Snap, plays exceptionally well with She-Hulk, and is really good at picking up spare energy on turns where you don't get to spend it. Quinjet, in my opinion, leads the front running as the biggest offender in this deck, making all the cards that didn't start there cost 1 less, meaning all of your Infinity Stones from Thanos cost 0. This is fundamentally where the nut draws come from and causes a lot of problems in combination with She-Hulk and Sunspot, as you're having very powerful turns without spending any energy. If you want to look at the other card that I think is the problem of this deck and the reason why it is so strong, that is Lockjaw. You'll see in several of our games that Lockjaw leads to just completely insurmountable game states on turn 3, sometimes even turn 2, sometimes turn 4. The opponent just cannot keep up with by dumping a pile of free stones behind it and generating a pile of massively overstated minions with relevant on-reveal effects. This card is, in my opinion, starting to look a bit egregious and would be my frontrunner for being on the chopping block right now. The rest of this deck is some tech tools and then big, powerful cards for Lockjaw and our stones to pull into. Shang-Chi, of course, is pretty universal in the format right now and gives us a dedicated tech card to handle Shuri Zero, the other deck we kind of expect to see a fair amount of on our climb up the ladder. Blue Marvel shines very well alongside cheap Infinity Stones that we're playing, and also has some inbuilt synergy with Doctor Doom as a nice 1-2 punch as an endgame package. Devil Dinosaur really shines in a deck full of cards that replace themselves when you play them. Unsurprisingly, can be very, very large and is a fantastic just pull off of Lockjaw. It's great on rate and continues to just be great above rate as well. Leech is another card that I think is on the chopping block, truth be told, in terms of how good it is in this deck. The Time Stone allows you to regularly leech on turn 4, and if you snap beforehand, that's often a retreat against so many of the decks in Marvel Snap right now. It is a very, very powerful play that will win you very, very, very large amounts of cubes. I do think Leech is a large part of the reason why this deck is so powerful. Doctor Doom is a card I want to take a second to talk about. This list is choosing to play it over Aero, and I think it's a fantastic change in my opinion. People are playing around Aero on turn 6 right now anyway, if there is space available, because the card is so prominent. So instead, we give ourselves a tool to play back against Aero, play back against Sandman, these cards that might cause us problems over the course of the game. This is a fantastic card to challenge multiple lanes, and is great to pull up off of Lockjaw as well. America Chavez adds us a little bit of consistency, letting us find our Lockjaw, Quinjets, and the like a bit faster, while also being a palatable card to bring into play from that Lockjaw. She-Hulk is again just a card that is ridiculously above rate, one of the best cards in Marvel Snap right now in my opinion. Exceptional with Sunspot, very, very strong when you're having low energy turns thanks to 0 cost Infinity Stones and Lockjaw, and again, just fantastic to pull into play off of Lockjaw as well. Thanos is kind of the glue that brings this all together. His power so far has been relevant every now and then, but it does let him get Shang-Chi'd on occasion as well. But this one, mostly here for the stones, unsurprisingly. The stones just offer you unparalleled flexibility that no other card in Marvel Snap can really compete with, in my opinion. They let you do everything from changing locations to moving into hard-to-access locations to gaining extra energy to shrinking your opponent's cards, and they all draw cards in the process as well. The card is just proving to be one of the best cards in the game, and especially in Series 5. Last but not least, my possibly least favourite card in the deck, Magneto, is mostly here as a big stat stick that offers you you the ability to interact with your opponent, maybe pull a wave into Galactus's path if Wave has set that Galactus up, and similar kind of counterplay along the way. But for the most part, it's a really big body that offers you some interaction along the way, and is great to move back out of the Lockjaw lane thanks to the Space Stone. I personally think something needs to be done about this deck. It is very, very strong and will remain at the top of the metagame, I think, for a long time unless something is changed very, very soon. So please do yourself a favor if you've got this one. Feel free to try it out. Enjoy the games that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some of the highlights and the best moments of that 90-minute set, making us reach our way to infinite. So hopefully you enjoyed that set. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe for me here at Marvel Snap Zone. If you want more daily Marvel Snap content and want to support what I do over here on the YouTube channel, make sure you like the video for me and leave a comment down below about how you feel about Thanos Lockjaw. With all that said, enjoy the games. I'll see you again very soon. Have a good one. What is going on with my phone today? I'm trying to shoot a video, being all unprofessional. Phone just won't shut up. How very rude. Alright, looking for the Magnet Man. The Magnet Man is the one that we really want. Thanos does have 21 power right now. Zabu is loaded. Blue Marvel, again, kind of not what we were hoping to see. Let's go Dino. Magnet Man is the draw we would like, I think. Assuming we don't get Galactus right now. Magic! Okay. I think my final play is going to be pretty face up. I think I'm a little scared of getting randomly Spider-Man'd here, which would kind of suck, but I'm fairly certain this is always happening, so I'm just going to do it. If my opponent can get their Shang-Chi into Morag, more power to them. No Galactus incoming. They do have the double Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
Can they get enough power into Morag? I'll give them the cubes if they can. Because I'm not convinced they can do it. This also adds 7 power to Sunspot. Like, Random Killmonger completely owns our soul here, but beyond that, I don't think we can lose. 21 power Thanos actually coming up. Every stone played. Dino looking flush. This deck is incredible. Like, opponents had the turn 3 negative. Got a free Wolverine. Has double Iron Man. And that might not be enough. Unreal. I don't know whether the ARG is sarcastic or not. I'm not sure. I'm panicking a bit here. But yeah, nothing.
Victory.
Wow. This deck is crazy. Since, okay, we have found our Lockjaw. Danger Room. I'm pretty happy to set myself up for a turn 2 Lockjaw. With a Space Stone, probably snapping here. We lose our Power Stone, which is annoying but fine. Opponent loses the Moon Girl. We are going to snap before our opponent knows what we're up to. And see whether they are willing to stick around while we go spinning and diving a load of stuff into our deck. They do. Down comes the turn 2 Lockjaw off the Time Stone. X-Mansion, sure. So we're going to go bippity boppity boop and send it. Pull up a Quinjet. Stones now cost nothing. Stone in, Devil Dinosaur out. Sunspot in. Magneto out. Was that a good turn, folks? Was that a good turn 3, do you think? I think so.
Victory.
I think that was a good turn 3. This is nonsense. This deck is insane. Alright. Early Sunspot is not quite as good as early Lockjaw, but it is still pretty good. Gonna stay out of Lekka Gwayla for obvious reasons. We do have Time Stone to accelerate into the Leech as well, which is pretty good, and I'm happy to see it. Miniaturized Lab is actually really solid for us here. I will I cantrip this Space Stone? I think I'd rather have the energy in the Sunspot, to be honest. Opponent with the Sentinel. The Bifrost. Kind of would like to find my Reality Stone now, to be honest. Alright, let's set ourselves up to Leech. Save the 1 energy for us, our friend Sunspot here. Not impossible, our opponent's on Killmonger with the Sentinel deck, so gotta be a little cautious, at least until we leech the text off of it. Assuming this all goes to plan, we don't eat a Cosmo or something, I'll be snapping before we leech for obvious reasons. We find She-Hulk Blue Marble. Okay. So let's move a stone over here. I think the Leech is better than the Reality Stone. So we are just going to fire it off. Okay, the Sunspot makes it pretty clear there's probably no Killmonger in the deck. The armor means it's not impossible, but I think it's less likely given the situation. So we have the Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi's, whatever you prefer. Bit awkward here actually, because the Sunspot slid out of Miniaturized Lab makes me kind of sad. Blue Marble not really at its best here. Think we're probably doing it. Means the She-Hulk in the middle on turn 6 is worth 11 potentially. Alternatively, we just doom so that we play everywhere. No effect Moon Girl, no effect Sentinel. Opponent's deck getting full of rocks over there. Yeah, I feel like Doom is the play. Doom lets us play to all the locations, which seems like our best bet. I think that's where I'm going. Opponent does have the Killmonger. Wow. It even had real text on it. Thankfully, Killmonger no good. Doom plus a Blue Marble. Enough to win anyway. Almost won all 3 lanes through all of that. Which is bananas. But I guess that's what happens when you leech your opponent. Alright. We do have our Lockjaw. Morag. Okay. Do we want this space stone to be burnt? I feel like we don't. I feel like we take the pass. I want to see what the third location is here so I can play my Lockjaw there if possible, because the mirror dimension might become a copy of Morag, and that's when things get really awkward. So think we want to wait if we can. Opponent also unsure what to do in this spot, apparently. We find a dino. Icebox. Icebox is fine. I think this is snap-worthy now. We can work around the goose, hopefully. But all beast. Tempo beast, my favourite. Hits an icebox, sadly hits the space stone, but that's okay, we can work with that. We had some spare energy anyway. We should Quinjet first, because we wouldn't mind pulling it back out. Purple Swordmaster discards Umbaku. Okay. So this is some fruity nonsense we got going on over here. Space Stone in. Mind Stone out. Not quite what we were looking for here, but that's okay. Opponent snaps back, huh? Okay. We can work with this. So, Time Stone here, Soul Stone here. Opponent with the Captain Marvel, I see. Dr. Doom doing as Dr. Doom does, completely dominating the battlefield here. And then we get to go Space Stone, Quinjet She-Hulk. Wow, geez, that's disgusting. Pull out a Magneto for the finish as well. Opponent with the Hazmat and a Rock Slide. So this was definitely a bot, right? This was definitely a bot, but the things we did were still kind of ridiculous.
Victory.
Cloning Vats? Alright. Deal. I'll take a free Time Stone to cantrip. That's fine. Sokovia loses me that Time Stone, which is sad, but okay. We'll live. We'll live. Do we want a free Power Stone, or do we just take the pass and play a She-Hulk? Pretty much in the market to play a She-Hulk. Opponent with the Okoye. Alright, not what I expected. Let's give ourselves a backup She-Hulk for fun. Opponent with the pass makes me think they have their own She-Hulk here a reasonable amount of the time. Unlikely to play Lockjaw if we draw it at this point, so just going to run the stones out in both locations, try and diversify our stats just a little bit. Does have a She-Hulk of their own, makes some sense. Alright, so we're going to go... Dinosaur. Opponent with their own dinosaur. Very similar stories we got going on here. And I think it's just going to be Soulstone Blue Marvel. To try and steal it this way. Opponent with the Coulson. And the Sentinel, no good. Job done.
Victory.
So this is where we're going to play the starting clip from before we explain what we did. We win our final game. We collect our rewards. We finish the climb with this deck up to 100. This is just my front runner right now for the most ridiculous deck in the game. I don't see it being any better. This was a 73% win rate over 36 games. Crackers. Yeah, highly recommend this one. I think it's just insane. I can't really say an awful lot else about it. This deck is a problem if it remains playable behind Series 5. At least the rest of the deck is all Series 3. It's just the problem is you need Thanos. Doesn't work without it. But this deck is insane. Absolutely insane. And I highly recommend you playing it if you've got it and you want to finish the climb, because we just did 13 ranks in an hour and a half. And I hope you enjoyed the highlights of it. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Would appreciate that. Otherwise, I've been HowlingMines. You've been amazing. This has been Marvel Snapstone. Take care. Have a good one.